Hello, I am Preston Bennett, and this is my Civilization Music 1 presentation on Oedipus Rex. So, what is it? Well, it is a play, it is Greek, and it is by Sophocles, so it is very good. So let's get to know our main cast. Our main man is Oedipus. There is his father Pelops, his mother Jocasta, a servant, a shepherd, Polybus, and an oracle. So, enter Oedipus. So when Oedipus was born, his parents got a prophecy. What was the prophecy? It was that he was going to kill Pelops, his father. So his parents weren't too jazzed about that. So they're like, hey servant, you see this boy? Go kill him. And the servant was like, hey, that's not so bueno. So he finds a shepherd and says, hey shepherd, here's a kid. Bye. And then the shepherd is like, oh, that guy wants a kid. Here you go, and that's Polybus. And then at some point, Oedipus grows up and goes to the Delphic Oracle, who tells him he's going to marry his own mother. And Oedipus is like, what? Okay, and then part 2. So Oedipus has a pretty great life under Polybus, which makes sense. And then Oedipus learns about the prophecy to kill his father, and he doesn't want to kill Polybus, so he leaves. And at some point, he comes across Pelops, and Pelops was being rude, so Oedipus stabs him. Because Pelops was just not that stand-up guy, you know. So then Oedipus comes across his old kingdom and finds it in an absolute state of disarray. It's just horrible. So he says, I will help you, and then becomes king and marries Jocasta. So Oedipus says, okay, prophets, come here. How are we going to do this? And there's one guy, Tiresias, who is blind and pretty good prophet, who gives him some advice, and then Oedipus is like, I don't like that. Blind person. And Tiresias is like, oh, how dare you? You're going to sleep with your own mother. And then leaves. And then Jocasta, wanting to comfort him, says, hey, oracles aren't always reliable. Take what happened to my husband, for instance. He got murdered by some bandits at some crossroads instead of being murdered by our own son. And then Oedipus is like, hey, what crossroads? And then he finds out the shepherd lived who was there, and hey, it's the same shepherd from all those times ago. And as he's interrogating him, a servant comes in and says, hey, by the way, Oedipus, Polybus is dead. And he was like, oh, thank goodness. I didn't kill him. Prophecy avoided. And then the servant is like, hey, you know you're adopted, right? And then at this point, Jocasta knew. Jocasta put the pieces together and realized who Oedipus was. Her son. So then she hangs herself. And then Oedipus finally puts 2 and 2 together and gouges his own eyes out because he couldn't bear to look at the world anymore. The end.